This weekend is GenCon, which has become arguably the largest weekend in North America, at least, for Star Wars Destiny. I don't say the world because the UK is definitely leading the charge right now, but there is no denying the importance of this event to the Destiny community. But this year's Gen Con is important for another reason. The masses are going to be getting their first hands-on look at Star Wars Unlimited. So today, let's talk about the impact that Gen Con weekend will have, both for the longevity of ARH Destiny, as well as the headwinds that will almost certainly increase on our game. A huge shout out to our channel members for supporting what we do here. If you want to get involved with the channel and the Dice Commando community, please consider joining as a channel member. Remember, these videos are only possible with your support. You can show that support with a like, a subscribe, and by leaving us a comment and sharing your feedback. Community first, and go Commando. Hey there, Star Wars Destiny folks. Happy Destiny Friday. I hope everything's going well. And for those of you who are going to Gen Con, you're probably watching this at Gen Con, which is pretty freaking sweet. So please enjoy your weekend. Have a great weekend hanging out with all the people who are only names on screens to you for probably, 300 days out of a year, unless you're, in certain parts of the country that do a really good job. Shout out to Jim the Tank for everything they're doing up there at Silver Suns. Shout out to Wook for everything that he's doing in Lake Geneva. Shout out to Snake for everything he's doing in Toronto. And to all the other people who are actually keeping IRL Destiny alive, shout out to you. But we all know that this is the big weekend where everybody's going to be getting together. You're going to have banana phones, and you're going to have Elrath, which is, I still need to meet that man in person. Anyway, so yes, shout out to all you folks, and I do want to wish everyone wearing a DC jersey. I should have worn my DC jersey for this. I don't think ahead, right? Give everybody wearing a DC jersey, give them a hug, and Snake, let's see if you can do it. See if you can do it, my man. Also, shout out to Sparks. I hope you did get your jersey in time. And have a great time. All right, so what I have up right now is the Destiny weekend schedule. All right, so we have the Filthy Casuals on Thursday, right? Thursday night, which has already happened at the point that you're watching this, or at least that it goes live. We have the limited format Smash, that's right, on Friday, that is sold out, has been sold out for a while. We did it. We did it, kids. It's a good format. It's a lot of fun, and it seems to be very popular, especially because a lot of it's supplied, so people don't have to travel with stuff. Makes sense. People just want to get there and have a good time. All right, we then have FFG Standard on Friday, and then a Renewed Hope Standard on Saturday, and then Star Wars Destiny Alliances on Saturday evening. So quite the weekend of Destiny. And again, a lot of people are going to be doing multiple of those events. But remember, there's a whole con out there, so go enjoy that as well. All right, so now kind of into the next part and the meat of this cast is, what I have up right now are just a minor snapshot or partial snapshot, I should say, of Star Wars Unlimited demo, right? So Star Wars Unlimited has been announced for a couple months now, maybe. I don't keep track of that. But we knew that Gen Con was going to be the big premiere of that. FFG will be there in force, promoting their new game. A lot of folks will see a lot of familiar faces there probably doing it. I'm sure that, it's not coincidental that about a year and change before this dropped, we lost a lot of people in the community because they probably went over to playtesting. I'm assuming. I don't actually, cross my heart, I don't know that for a fact. But it tracks to me that would make sense. We know that certain designers from the past are involved in it. I mean, it just makes sense. We're going to see a lot of familiar faces. So we are going to, it's no secret that there's a lot of people excited about Unlimited. It's Star Wars, and it's a card game, and people are going to be there. So what's going to be very interesting to see out of this weekend, and again, towards the future of Destiny, is how good Star Wars Unlimited is, right? It's going to be the first, we've seen the rules by and large. We've seen at least partial rules, half rules, 75% rules, whatever it is. We've seen those. So that's, that is what it is. I'm not super impressed with them, but again, it's one of those things where if you look at a rule set in a vacuum without all the cards and you don't have the full picture, you can't do that. Now, people are actually going to be able to get cards in there. I don't know whether, I'm assuming you'll leave with a promo or something, probably. So you should probably go do it. It's probably worth something. But you're going to sit down with some sort of pre-made deck or whatever in your hand, and you're going to play a dev or a learn to play person or whatever it may be. And people are going to really leave there with a good picture of what that game looks like. Now, I mean, let's be honest, there's a large number of people. I mean, you've seen it over the last 2 months, large number of people who are like, oh my God, it's going to be the greatest game ever because it's Star Wars. It kind of seems to be the come for the Star Wars, stay for the gameplay, right? And I think that Star Wars Destiny obviously I think Star Wars Destiny would have been a great game regardless of it being Star Wars. Obviously, Star Wars certainly helped it and is probably the reason it's still here. But I like the game system itself. We will really see if this new game system lends itself to being Star Wars and all that. I mean, again, it's FFG. They create great games, so I'm sure it will be. But we'll see, right? So that'll be the big takeaway, I think, from the weekend is how good this is, right? And I think the folks there are certainly going to be Destiny folks, and actually these are the comments that I want below, there are going to be Destiny folks who are signed up for this and get to go try it out this weekend. Like, absolutely, why would you not, right? And I'm really interested to hear how it goes, because if it comes out that this game is not just a Star Wars game, but it's like a good entry point game that seems balanced and fun, it's going to set up a lot of headwinds for Destiny because it's just the reality of the situation. I'm not, to be clear, super excited about this weekend, not trying to be doom and gloom. That's not the case. Just being realistic that if what happens is come out of this, like, oh my God, the greatest game we've ever seen, blah, 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 second greatest game we've ever seen, blah, 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 whatever, right? It could be a problem, right? So that's what I'm very interested in seeing out of this whole thing is really not the gameplay and the cards, but how it's received, especially with folks that have played other games, not just Destiny, but other games in the past, right? I'll be honest, I'm kind of going down the rabbit hole here, but one of the things that when I look at the rule set of the new game, one of the things that strikes me is that it seems pretty small, and if this is definitely a thing for another cast, but it seems at least now to be pretty small, and that one of the only ways they have to grow, not for the next 1-2 years, but after that, they'll probably just have to start power creeping it. That has me concerned in terms of gameplay ability, right? Because then they're going to put a rotation thing. Naturally, there's people who hate rotation type games, but we'll see. And then the other part of this is, how competitive is it? That was always one of the things that hurt Destiny overall early, was that people who are competitive minded didn't necessarily like the concept of randomness. I personally think that's actually what made the game great, but this game doesn't seem to have a lot of that, and that's why, with how linear it is with just the 2 zones and so again, I know I'm going down the rabbit hole, but I'm not super optimistic on the new game from a long-term point of view. So I'm really interested to hear what you folks are able to get your hands on the cards and test it, play it with people and get coached through it. Really interested to hear what your takes are going to be. Okay. So heading back to Star Wars Destiny, again, I'm talking, long-term major scope, which I think is appropriate to talk about because it's a big deal this weekend. But looking back to Destiny, I'm very excited to see what I think we have one of the most. I feel like we said this last year, actually. I don't know if that's true or not. I have to go back and look, but I feel like we have let's at least say this, the most open meta ever. I don't know, but it's a pretty damn open meta. And the folks that are left in this game are pretty freaking creative. So I'm really excited to see what comes out this weekend. And more than just the decks and stuff, I love seeing the pictures of you all. I can't wait for the Facebook photos and stuff, right? That photo last year of Tank, cracked me up. And just seeing you all get to hang out with each other. I can't be there this weekend. I'm leaving next weekend for my trip and all that, my long trip. So it just didn't work out. But I am bummed I can't be there. I'm kind of jealous, right, of you all. But it's the way it goes, being an adult and all that. So anyway, folks, I've been rambling for 11 minutes at this point, but yeah, I think it was worth talking about, not just the excitement of the weekend, but I think pay attention and kind of pick up on the vibes this weekend. I think it's gonna be a crucial weekend for Destiny. And again, I realize it's, different countries and just one subset of the folks, but vibes are vibes, and people are smart and they can kind of figure it out and pick things up. So anyway, great. Have a great time this weekend, folks. I'm really, like I said, I'm pretty jealous, but if nothing else, folks, have a great time. Go Commando.